Hello, welcome to a weird episode of the Rocky Sports Talk Sheet. You're probably wondering why I'm saying it's going to be a weird episode of the Rocky Sports Talk Sheet today. That is because I just got a message from Twitter. As you all know from my previous video, I was not impressed with Jake Paul, the overly popular, very controversial YouTuber and social media. Don't know how he got there. Stupid icon that he became. But I wasn't impressed with his win because I feel that, and I know that he is picking and choosing his fights to a abysmal rating. And I feel that he's robbing you all of your all's money that is paying to watch these fights. I believe he is a complete fraud. He is next to the word in the dictionary of fraud. His face pops up as he is fighting wholeheartedly non-stand-up fighters when he's been trained for years in boxing. And everybody acts like they're shocked that he pulled a win. Or what? Really? Ben Askren, a complete wrestler, not a stand-up fighter whatsoever. Nate Robinson, NBA player, dude, get out of here. But the reason why I said it's going to be weird is because I got a thing. I'm being suspended right now for the next 12 hours on Twitter because of this tweet. I'm going to explain it. And I'm also going to say openly, yes, did I send this tweet to at Pat McAfee Show? Yes, I did. Did I send it also to at Jake Paul himself? Yes, I did. Um, did I also send about 5 other tweets to Jake Paul? And also on my channel, fully explaining these tweets? Yes, I did, wholeheartedly. See, the thing about tweets is sometimes you run out of space and letters, or you have a certain amount of letters that you can type. And I didn't explain this good enough. That is my fault. I'm taking responsibility for that. But I'm here to clear the air on this tweet that I sent to both of them. I'm also going to say that I think they're both hypocrites, and I think they're both frauds now because everybody knows what happened with Pat McAfee show. How did he act whenever that NXT wrestler um, basically went off on him on his set? Adam Cole. Go see how he reacted and how he talks about Adam Cole. But then gonna try to get somebody banned and try to get their platform banned and stuff. I don't like them at all. I don't like either one of them. Very hypocritical. I said at Pat McAfee show at Jake Paul. I'd knock at Jake Paul out. Code. He's a fraud, fake, controversial YouTuber who's nothing but a B word. I've never done a pro fight, but I did have one semi-pro with Elite. I had a cage fight with Elite cage fight. I did a semi-professional Elite cage fighting match. Back I put on, I think back in '09. I think it may have been all somewhere between '09, 10, or 11. So a decade ago. And I'd still whoop that pansy, trash talking, think he's something he's not, bum all over Indy or wherever. Now, what I would also in other tweets, this goes after other tweets that I put out before, where I openly challenged and sent them to Jake Paul at Jake Paul to himself because he put out a tweet after he beat Ben Askren, which I wasn't at all impressed by, who he should retire next. And he basically was putting out challenges. So I responded to his challenge as a stand-up fighter myself. I lost fights where I went to the ground. I'm not a grappler. I'm not good at grappling. I wasn't good on the ground, and really, fighters didn't like standing up with me. They didn't. But other tweets before that, I put out that why don't we do it at an elite, maybe an indie, in an octagon setting with MMA 4-ounce gloves. We'll do stand-up. There is no mixed martial arts, no ground, no nothing. They also have that option where you can do stand-up fighting. I wanted to do that with MMA gloves, not boxing gloves. Dude, if you act like you got all this power, then you should gravitate and want those thin MMA gloves and not those over padding boxing gloves. So I'm even giving you a bigger chance for a bigger knockout if you think you're all that. And I put out the challenge to in an MMA octagon or in a boxing match setting with 4-ounce gloves. And yes, I called him all kinds of stuff. I called him out. I called him a fraud. I called him a phony. I called him the B word. I think that's what he is. I think that he stole all you all's money that paid for his fights, because he's picking obvious people that have not even really studied fighting, stand-up fighting, trained. You got to understand, I'm not saying that Jake Paul ain't got no ability. He has trained in boxing for several years now, but I don't think his attitude and the way he comes across is way extremely too arrogant for somebody who has fought the people that he's fought and acts like he's the heavyweight champ. I put out the challenge basically to knock him down a pike or two, which means I wanted to humble him in a legalized setting, people, not street fight or anything illegal. Because basically, Jake Paul and the Pat McAfee show reported me for threatening. But you also have 4 other tweets that were before this challenging you to a fight. And then in that one, you wanted to wait to report that one where I'd said I'd knock you out in India or anywhere. I'm saying I'll do this match anywhere. Like, I love how you rich and famous people can talk and act the way that you do and get away with it. But whenever us that are, just starting out, I've only been, even my YouTube channel. Look, listen, I'm nothing. I'm not even going to pretend I'm anything. I have 9 subscribers, people, because I just started 30 days ago. I've never even put my face on a camera or recording and put stuff out there on the internet before until 30 days ago. So I'm not also trying to use this to grow my platform. I'm actually genuinely being serious because I do not like him. I do believe, because I'm struggling. I actually started this because I'm trying to catch up with bills and stuff. I'm trying to catch up my support and stuff and take care of my family. Because we did lose a lot during this COVID pandemic. And I'm trying to use this because I do love talking about sports and I always did want to be a sports, I always wanted to be on like ESPN and Sports Center, even though I don't like them now because it's too political and they talk too much about race when it's sports, not politics. So I try to do this to build a second income in the future to catch up. And also because it is a big hobby of mine and because I think I would really be good. And I do think that I've been getting better and better, a little bit better on this channel. When at first, probably the first weeks of videos, I was probably real timid and all over the place. But I think that I'm getting better. My point is here, you all want to act the way that you all do on your stoves and on your Twitter accounts and your social media that you use, and you all put out all kinds of crazy stuff and say crazy words, challenging people and putting out all this threatening stuff, and Twitter accepts you and social media accepts you, but not some ordinary person who ain't got your all's money. I think that is complete bullshit. I think it's completely bullshit. And I think it just shows how much of a joke both of you all are, Pat McAfee show and Jake Paul, to report that. Because even on the Pat McAfee show, he did a little scripted thing with Adam Cole, acting like they hate each other, and they Adam Cole went at him on his show live on Pat McAfee. But and ever since then, and before that incident happened, he badmouths him and runs his mouth about him and stuff. When really we know it's scripted, WWE scripted. You don't really, the way you talk about Adam Cole is fake as hell. Pat McAfee, you're a fucking fraud, dude. You're a fraud, dude. Just as much as Jake Paul. And then Jake Paul with all the crap that you put out there. You were the one that put out the challenge, dude. Then you want to report it whenever some ordinary person challenges you. What? So I'm putting this out there for all y'all to know about both of those people. I would unfollow them completely. I would call them out on their hypocrisy and their bullcrap. I'm done with it. Why don't you answer the bell? Is it because you got scared that an actual stand-up fighter, somebody you're obviously not trying to fight to make a bigger name for yourself and to profit off of, you got scared and try to get them reported and try to get them banned when you're the one that threw it out, but you're talking all the smack that you are on all these platforms? I wish Twitter would. I wish YouTube, I wish they would. I'd immediately hire a good friend of mine, an attorney, and I would bring it on. I might just catch up on my bills and everything, because I will straight take it down. And I would bring it legally to all of them. Legally. All over them. Phonies, man. Phonies, like I said. Both of them. Go watch the Pat McAfee show. See how he talks and stuff. But yet he's going to report something like that. Something like that. Go check out my tweets at Rocky Sports. 2 different words. ROCKEY Sports on Twitter. You'll see other tweets that clearly say a challenge for a match, and they report that stuff. Go check it out. This is ridiculous. You're both frauds, man. And I hope people do see this video, and I hope this video spreads, and I hope that it spreads and it starts to make both of you all lose followings, lose your numbers, and lose money. Because you know what? If you all want to be hypocrites and frauds, then your all's pocketbook should get eaten up. That's the way it should be. If you're going to steal from others and then be two-faced about it, maybe it's time that karma comes back on both of you all. Because this is bullcrap. That's straight up bullcrap, man. But anyways, I just had to make a video to explain myself to Twitter, because I'm going to post it, because I'm not going to let Twitter ban me from Twitter. No, you better go look at the other tweets and stuff that also went along with that. And also maybe add where people can put more on their Twitter, on their tweets. Because clearly I wanted to put more, but I couldn't. So yes, I do want a match, and I did put out there that maybe it should, we can do it through Elite in Indy, because I live in Indiana. He's rich, he's got all the money, I don't. So come to me. Let's make the match here. Sanctioned, legal match, people. Just Twitter, so you know. YouTube, so you know. This isn't no threatening or violence or nothing like that. It's actual legal sport that I am offering, and they're on your all's platform throwing this stuff out there. So I'm just replying to what he threw out there. So maybe if you're gonna ban somebody, maybe ban somebody that's putting out the stuff in the first place, and not the person that actually replies to what he wants. This is absurd. You know, almost getting rid of my platform just because I basically accepted and made myself an opponent for you when you're looking for one right now? And you're the one that throws out the question? Shame on you. It's like I said, I do have MMA experience. I was a stand up MMA fighter. I'm not good on the ground. I don't like wrestling. I don't like being on the ground. That's how I lost matches. I lost matches because I'm not good and I got submitted, rear naked choke, whatever. But I was a hell of a stand-up fighter, and everybody tried to take it to the ground because they did not want to stand up with me. And I've had fighters tell me that. I've had fighters come up to me and literally tell me after the first time they got hit, I hit them. They was wanting to stand up, and they immediately was like, yeah, it's got to go to the ground. And like I said, one of them even told me like you almost knocked me out with the first one. So, you really want a stand up challenge? Come on. Because I still got the heat. But here's the thing, Jake Paul. You don't want the smoke. You don't want a legitimate stand up fighter. You want to keep making people pay all these pay per views and making millions of dollars fighting people that you know don't have real stand-up fighting backgrounds and make a mockery of the sport. That's why I want this, because you're making a mockery of combat sports, dude. You're being disrespectful to it. Now, I don't like it, because whenever I did it, I used it as a source, to deal with, maybe some of my anger issues or some of my depression and stuff. I used it for good. That's why I liked it. That's why I enjoyed it. I like the competitive nature of it as well. You're using it for a whole different reason, and I don't like it. So whenever I say you're a fraud, I have my reasons to wholeheartedly back it up. Because why don't people go look at your opponents? And they'll see what I'm saying, and they should, if they had a brain, understand what I'm saying and be on board with what I'm saying. Stealing money from people during a pandemic, man. Ridiculous. I mean, sheesh. You really wouldn't truly fight Connor. You really wouldn't. Because anybody in the right mind knows that he would literally, in a boxing match or MMA or whatever, he would beat you. You're picking and choosing. And the way that you're doing it is disgusting. So why don't you view this as a Rocky versus Apollo situation? Because the name of my channel, my first name, Rocky Sports Talk Sheet. Well, Rocky is my name. Why don't you think like Apollo did in Rocky 1 and say, I want that fighter because his name sounds cool. Rocky, Italian Stallion, Balboa. Well, why don't you view me like that? Why don't you give an underdog a chance? And I'll tell you why you won't. Because you're scared that I'm going to shock the world and embarrass you and reveal just how big of a fraud you really are in combat sports. That's the real reason why you try to get me banned off social media and reported that. Because you're scared somebody will call your bluff that's an actual great stand up fighter or has legitimate stand up fighting background and will embarrass you. But you ain't willing to take that chance. But you're willing to do it to people that have no business trying to do that. And you lure them into it. So it's okay for you to take advantage of the situation, but not somebody else, huh? And yet, I'm still wondering why you have 60, 70 million people and followers that make you all these millions of dollars that you make. And why they can't see through your BS. And why they can't realize just how phony and how big of a fraud you are. And the same with the Pat McAfee show. You act like you put all these contests and stuff and pay the winners, but then in reality, you'll stab people in the back, and and how you try to act like you're not, you are exactly on your show, especially whenever you talk about Adam Cole. You're the same exact way. You don't take yourself off the air, or you don't try to take away your um your channel or anything, do you, buddy? I can't stand a hypocrite. I could not stand hypocrites. And both of you are the definition of it. So, at Jake Paul, let me reiterate this for Twitter because, like I said, I'm posting this on Twitter so I can clear my name so I don't get banned. My tweet that I did delete to try to keep my account, it has been deleted, but I did read out what I said. I also put out 4 or 5 other tweets to you, dude, and on my page to a actual sanctioned legal fight in a MMA, which means mixed martial arts, okay, for Twitter, in case you don't know, or YouTube, you don't know, or a boxing ring with 4-ounce MMA gloves. And in that setting, which is legal, 1000% legal, nothing illegal about it, I will knock you out. Take that to the bank, you coward. Take it to the bank, you fraud. I will knock your fake ass YouTube fraud, controversial YouTuber, don't understand how you make all the millions you do through your followers and stuff. Phony ass boxer who only goes and gets wrestlers or NBA players, people who have no business doing stand up boxing matches, and act like you won a world goddamn title. Jake Paul. The ball is in your court now. You can choose to either accept it or not. You can message me back. You can comment on this YouTube channel. You can leave me a comment on my Twitter. You can also leave me a comment on it at Rocky Sports. 2 words there for Twitter, there, buddy. You know, because I figured you're also slow too. And Rocky, Rockey, Rockey. Okay, I want to say it twice. I'm going to say it 3rd time. Rockey, Rocky Sports Talk Sheet on YouTube, Jake Paul. Okay, you can also comment on the Twitter page that I have there. Yes, it is nowhere near in the realm of you with your little following, with your controversial things that you do. Okay? Yeah, how about that time you went to that forest in Japan, or I believe it was Japan. Yeah, how awesome was that? Yeah, I'm not gonna fully comment on it, But I'm pretty sure this is the YouTuber Jake Paul that was acting foolish and actually laughing and stuff like that. Whenever I think it was some like suicide forest, I think it's in Japan. He went there and visited. I think made a video and laughed because I guess he saw somebody was hung on a tree or something or somewhere in the forest and actually laughed about it and then posted the video on YouTube. And then this is the same guy I believe that did that or something. I heard a story. It was something like that. But anyways, this is the guy that you guys follow and make money to. You guys make you guys let him make millions of dollars being that kind of a scumbag. Well, you are a scumbag. And I think it's time that karma catches up. So, in a legalized sanctioned match, reply back and just accept or decline my offer. I understand if you're too scared, Jake Paul. I understand if either you or your brother's scared, because I don't like your brother either. I think you both suck. Since you're too scared, you can just reply back and, you can just reply and say, no, I'd rather not because I'm only trying to find people that I know that I can beat in boxing. You can just send a reply back like that. I won't fight even somebody that has amateur standing background because I'm too scared. I'm too scared to. You can just do something like that, okay? Make it simple for you, buddy. Okay, there, Buttercup. All right. I saw that whenever, and see, I'm gonna put it this way. I saw that you were fighting. I saw you have like this Vegeta tattoo, buddy. Well, guess what? I'm your freaking Goku, buddy. You'll always have catching up to do whenever it comes to stand up fighting. You'll always be even behind me. And I'm just a regular person, dude. I'm just a regular person. I'm your Goku, buddy. Always catching up to me. You'll never be better than me. I'm your kryptonite. And you'll be too scared like a little girl to accept my challenge. But as I said, sanctioned match in an octagon or in the boxing ring with 4-ounce gloves, MMA gloves. Let's get it on. So Twitter and YouTube, guess what? I want to say in slow motion. Everything that I just said was a legal. Say it with me. Legal match offer that I am replying to that Jake Paul himself put out there on Twitter. You shouldn't ban somebody who replies to a challenge that somebody else put out. And then the one who put out the challenge reports the person replying. That's absurd. So, at Jake Paul and at Pat McAfee Show, read between the lines. Okay? Now, I'm going to come out with a normal video later on. This video is basically to try to save some of my social medias from getting blocked. This one's only for Twitter because it's only Twitter right now. I don't think YouTube will. But, yes. Later on, I'm going to have I'm going to be doing some NFL draft coverage. I'm also planning on doing a big live stream on draft day during the NFL draft. We're going to do live reactions to the draft picks. I'm going to be keeping close eye on especially that number 10 pick with my Dallas Cowboys. I'm going to have my Dallas Cowboys stuff on. I'm going to be ready to go. Hopefully you guys will tune in to the live stream because like I said, it's going to be live. I'm going to have the NFL draft on. My TV's next to me. And yes, I'll have the here. I'm probably going to do this, have